These 5 weeks, everyone is praising our evolution. I'm always saying the same things. We are not even near what the moment we're supposed to be in this club. I feel afraid of returning of this feeling of last season. That is my biggest concern.
Amorim. The excuses never run out. This is not going to be an episode where I'm just going to be bashing the manager and talking about the manager and talking about we told you so. That's not what it's about. That's not what this video is about. But this video is about pointing out the obvious. It's about pointing out the obvious. You just heard his press conference talking about how, just a few weeks ago, people were praising our evolution. Just a few weeks ago, I'm nervous about getting back to the feelings of before. What manager talks like that, guys? That's a manager that has zero confidence in what he's doing. Zero confidence in his players. And zero confidence in whatever tactic that he thinks he's trying to implement. What evolution is he talking about? Talking about evolution. You won 3 games in the bounce. And we're not gonna rehash the games that you won. And a win is a win. I don't care if it's against West Ham, against Liverpool. A win is a win. So we're not gonna rehash the 3 games that you won on the bounce. But let's talk about the other games that you've tied. The Forest, which first game with a new manager, and look at the difference at Forest. Look at the difference with Forest in the last couple of weeks since Sean Dyche came in. Look at the difference. United was still waiting for that. We're still waiting for that impact. We're still waiting for the Amorim impact. A year later, we're still waiting for the Amorim impact. The game against Tottenham, I didn't do a match review because there was a lot of the internet was really busy, and it was just one of those where I didn't want to jump on the camera and start talking about, oh, this is what it is and this is what is that. It was the international break, so I was like, you know what? It was against Tottenham. It was never going to be an easy game. Even though Thomas Frank is having a difficult time right now at Tottenham, they have injuries. I'm not sure what he's doing with Xavi Simons and some of his selections, but anyways, I'm not a Tottenham fan, so I'm not gonna dissect all that. But at the end of the day, I wasn't too upset with the Tottenham one, just because it is Tottenham. It is Tottenham. I mean, we're not gonna go to Tottenham and just boss them out the park. That was never gonna happen. But one thing I can talk about is the performances. Once again, we could talk about individual brilliance. We could talk about individual brilliances, but right now it seems that if Mbeumo is not firing, if Ahmad is not taking on players, we don't have anything. We have no solutions. We have no solutions to what we're trying to do, guys. We saw it yesterday, 5 at the back, right? A lot of times when we were trying to reshape without the ball, obviously when we were attacking, we had the 2, and we had a lot of center backs in the box, which did not make sense. And then when we didn't have the ball and we were trying to reshape or find our shape, you could see it on TV. Gary Neville called it out. 5 at the back. Why are we playing 5 at the back? Why are we playing 5 at the back, guys? We go down to 10 men. We were gifted at Old Trafford playing Everton, which is, don't get me wrong, this Everton side is no pushover. Don't get me wrong. They're not a pushover team. But we're playing at home. Confidence is high. Our players did well in the international break. First home game back, and we played on a Monday, so we even got a little bit of extra rest because we don't have Europe. We played Monday night, and I know Monday nights can be very tricky, but we played Monday night. First 12 minutes, boom, red card. Idrissa Gueye slaps Keane. And it's just like, what happened? First of all, let's talk about that. That was not a red card. That was not a red card. Like, refs need to stop overstepping. Refs need to get away from this overstepping and trying to dictate games. They need to stop that. Right? Like, most of us didn't even see what happened. So the fact that, yes, you saw a slap happen, it doesn't mean that you should just bring out a red. This is situations where, yes, you give the yellow to the guy who slapped, and then you have a side conversation with them and say, hey, we're not going to tolerate this. It wasn't like the fight of like Lee Boer and what's the other guy's name from Newcastle back in the day, like years back. It wasn't the same thing. Kira Dyer. It wasn't the same thing. There was like, I didn't see much of a violent conduct there. Yeah, there's a little cheek. Yeah, that happens. That happens. Some people get into their feelings and, you know, want to use their hands and not condoning it. But in such a game like that, to just give a red straight, come on, ref. Come on, ref. These refs need some beat down, man. These refs need some talking down to, because it's getting really bad. These ref calls, they can just make decisions up the woo-ha, and I get it. Like, you know, any misconduct on the field to your teammate or opposing teammate, such conducts like that is a straight red. And I get it. But for me, that was not a red card. But anyways, so we're down to 10 men. I mean, if Everton is down to 10 men, nothing changes. Nothing changes in the game. Like, no formation change. No, obviously I'm not asking you to start changing personnel. It's only 13 minutes in. You've already have your lineup, your starting lineup, so you don't need to change personnel. But try to change tactics. Try to figure out how can you be more attacking. How can maybe Shaw go up more? You know, like, we need a Shaw going up. And I know it might have been instruction from the coach, but someone like a Luke Shaw, he's very threatening going up. Why couldn't he be going up more? You know? And then in the second half, and then, you know, they score the goal, which is just like, okay, wonder goal from Dewsbury-Hall. Wonder goal from Dewsbury-Hall. So we're not going to sit here and say that, oh, could Lemons have saved it? Yes, he could have, but it was just one of those shots that I don't think anybody was expecting that shot to go the way it did. You know, and it did, and it happened. We're not going to take that away from Dewsbury-Hall and Everton. Okay, we concede the goal. It's still a long time in the game that we could come back, especially against 10 men. Second half rolls in. What does he do? He puts Ahmed back on right wing, and then he brings Mason Mount. Like, what? Like, what did Mason Mount do? Like, what did Mason Mount really do in that game to really impact it? And then, okay, the Mason Mount sub, I'm not really going to be too mad about the Mason Mount sub. You know, take out a defender and bring on Mason Mount. I'm not going to be too worried about. But why are you taking off? Like, why are you bringing on another defender in Diego Dallo? Why are you bringing on Diego Dallo? Why are you bringing him on? To do what? To secure the back? Or to go forward? Because we know that he's not doing any of those. Dallo is not the greatest defender. And going forward, we know that this whole time he hasn't been that great going forward. And this was the game. Oh yeah, okay, let's bring in Mainu. Oh, now let's bring in Mainu. Now it's desperate times. Now you're throwing the kitchen sink. Now you're throwing the kitchen sink. And now you're bringing in Mainu to do what? To save the day? And then you bring in Mainu, which I wasn't complaining about. I get it, Mason Mount coming on, maybe to kind of help out a bit, but Mason Mount didn't really need to come on. All we needed was one of the defenders to come off and have Mainu come on, have Mainu on Cass, You can move Ahmad from the 10. I'm not complaining about that. Put him on the left. On the right. I'm not complaining about that. But Mbeumo should not be playing the 10. Mbeumo shouldn't have been playing the 10, first of all. Mbeumo should have been put on the wing. You could put Ahmad at right back. We should have had Mainu and Casemiro sitting, and then you could have pushed up Bruno Fernandes. This was the moment where you could have pushed up Bruno Fernandes to his natural position. Not the biggest Bruno Fernandes fan, but come on. This was the moment where you could have put Bruno Fernandes in his actual position, tried the pivot of Casemiro. Because before Casemiro went off, he was one of our most, not threatening, because nobody was really threatening yesterday, but he was the one player that wasn't making mistakes. He was winning the duels in the middle of the park and giving the right passes, and he was in the box trying to make things happen. Mbeumo, not sure what happened to Mbeumo yesterday. He was playing like he was wearing the wrong pairs of shoes, kept falling every time he got the ball, slipping and sliding. Ahmad did his thing, but he wasn't as threatening. He kept trying to put the balls in the box, But overall, I'm not saying that we didn't have some good chances. We did have some, what's his name had to make some good saves, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, we didn't do enough to make a 10-man Everton terrified. I didn't see how we were going to score a goal. I could have seen us score maybe the one goal because it's Manchester United. We always find a way to just nick in that one goal to kind of save the manager face. But overall, guys, there was nothing special. And then you take off Cass, when Cass was actually the one guy that could have probably made something happen in that game. Right? So this is where the Mason Mount one, we're not necessarily gonna argue. But all I would have done was either taken up Dorgu. I would have taken up Dorgu for Mainu. That's all I would have done. Dorgu for Mainu. Push up Bruno Fernandes in the 10. Push Bruno Fernandes up in the 10 with Ahmad. Now you have 3 at the back. And then that allows, and Luke Shaw, I understand the whole Luke Shaw is injured, he can't play, he might get injured, he can't play the wing back. Whatever. This is a 10-man Everton team. We shouldn't be doing the running. They should be doing the running. We should be stretching the pitch. We didn't do any of that. We didn't make them run one bit. Their defenders, Keane had the best game of his life. We didn't stress them out. So guys, I'm really disappointed with that game yesterday. Really disappointed, and people might talk about the whole, the points, where we're at the table. I don't care about that not right now. All I care about is what is our performances. What are our performances? Like I said, Sean Dyche's Forest has already shown. They're already showing grit. They're already showing a difference. Look at the game against Liverpool. People might say, Liverpool had all this possession. Who cares about possession right now? They're getting the job done effectively. And all of a sudden, you're seeing Forest's, because when they had Postecoglou, he was trying to play Barca ball. It was like if you were a coach for Real Madrid trying to play Barcelona football. It's not gonna fly. And that's what he tried to do. And this is why he failed, did not win a single game, and he was chucked out within a month of being there. All Sean Dyche has done, he's come in and said, okay, I saw how Nuno used to play. I'm going to just be a little bit more defensive, resolutely defensive. And he decided, you know what? I know what my players are good at, and I'm just going to make them do what they're good at. And then we have managers at Manchester United that come in and want to change the script. They want to change the script all the time. I don't have my players. We're not there yet. The mentality is weak. Stop this nonsense, man. These are international footballers who are qualifying for their teams at the World Cup. So don't give me this crap of the players are not ready. Why are we trying to babysit these players? And why is the manager gaslighting people to believe that these players are not good enough or they don't have the mentality? We need to stop this nonsense about mentality. I'm getting sick and tired of it, guys. Every United fan was talking about mentality. What is mentality, guys? It's a round ball with 11 players on the pitch. Move the ball. Do something. It's actually crazy, guys. And then once again, we're gonna come out here and talk about it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. Like, how many processes can we keep having? Can we keep having? Like, people want to tell me about, oh, look at where Liverpool is on the table. Who cares? I'm not a Liverpool fan. Who cares? And why is it that every time we always want to relate to other teams when it comes to defending failure, when it comes to defending the mediocrity of our coaches, all of a sudden we use other clubs as an example. But when it's time to actually hold our manager responsible, hold our managers accountable, all of a sudden Manchester United is a different beast. It's a different machine. I don't know where we go from here, guys, but this is not looking great. This is not looking great. We have Crystal Palace on the weekend. Crystal Palace is another team that they're not going to be a pushover. They're playing well. They have a good manager. Like, I don't see how we're gonna beat Crystal Palace. Maybe we might run away with a draw, but I don't see how we're beating Crystal Palace. I don't see it, guys. Someone tell me. Like, how much more do we need to suffer before we realize that maybe, you know what, Amorim is not the guy. We all made a mistake. We all made a mistake. Amorim is not the guy. And I don't know what else, guys. So, but anyways, there was really nothing about that game. And that's what really pisses me off. There was really nothing to really talk about that game. Nothing really. Like, nobody really showed character, to be honest. You know, nobody really showed character, to be honest. So at the end of the day, I don't want to keep rambling, but it is what it is, guys. We go again. One game a week. You know, we need time. Amorim said, give us time on the pitch, give us time on the training ground, give us time on the training ground. You've got your time, buddy. You've got your time. And you still can't get it right. You still can't get it right. Forget about the guy who needs to get his hair cut. Forget about the 5-game winning streak. That's not what I'm talking about right now. That's not what really matters. We need to start seeing convincing performances that we can build upon. We need to start seeing more of our team. And look at that. Look at us now. All of a sudden, injury woes. Now, Sesko is out for a little bit. Cunha is out for, I think, he might be back for Crystal Palace. I don't know yet. But now it's already looking shaky. Now we're already looking like, these players that you couldn't even play for a minute, now you're having to rely on them. And this is why I've always said rotation is key, guys. Rotation is key because you don't know when you're gonna need those players that you keep shunning every freaking week. One game a week, guys. One game a week, and we still cannot make it happen. Anyways, it's been fun. Continue to like, subscribe. I'm writing a video on Marcus Rashford. Hopefully that should be coming out by the weekend. But anyways, guys, it's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Please like and subscribe as always. See you on Saturday. Actually, see you on Sunday. I think that's our last weekend game for the next till, I think, New Year. So anyways, take care, guys.